And he argues that we didn't actually reproduce real dinosaurs. These aren't dinosaurs. These are a modified dinosaur. They have a variety of different lizard and amphibian and fish DNA used in them to fill in the missing gap. He doesn't even really consider the DNA more important than the fact that it's a building. And it's Grant who, like in the movie, asks about frog DNA or notes the frog DNA. It's not explained to them in a expositional presentation that they use frog DNA. They just use some other sort of DNA. Grant brings up the idea that these West African frogs do spontaneously change gender. I did look to see if that's the case, and in Wikipedia, there's some back and forth about what that means. There is a scientific definition for that, and that is it is called sequential hermaphroditism. I know hermaphrodite isn't really a great word to describe this sort of intersex or sex change. It's how animals are described. It's not used for humans. But there are about 500 types of fish that will change from male to female, and sometimes they will change back from female back to male. It depends on like the environment, the conditions that they're in. My therapist actually pointed out that there is salmon that actually will be kind of agender at first, and then whenever they are old enough to start reproducing, that's whenever they pick the gender that they will choose, and they could choose male or female depending on what the populations need. And this is actually a evolutionary benefit because it allows for increased diversity of the gene pool. Because if you only have one male and multiple females, you're going to have a bottleneck, a genetic bottleneck because of that male. But if you have the ability to change sexes and have females become males and they can mate with the still females, then you expand your genetic gene pool pretty significantly. Part of the reason why this can happen is there are species of animals that have very low sexual dimorphism. Sexual dimorphism is whenever the male and female look very different. Humans kind of have a relatively low sexual dimorphism. A much obvious one in the animal kingdom is male lions and female lions. They have a much more significant dimorphism than humans. But with fish, because there's a low cost changing this is what scientists theorize, that with this low sexual dimorphism, it is easier for animals to change their sex and gender and change their gametes. I want to make it clear that this really indicates that people being the incorrect sex at birth is something that happens in nature and that trans rights are human rights.